Holy shit. We're live. People can see us. People can hear us. Welcome to Forbidden Lands. First episode of us transitioning this from the Free League Publishing Twitch to Defenders of Kobold. So, yeah. Exciting shit. What else? I don't know. We'll get into recap. I guess now let's just do some introductions. Looks like I got everyone's face in the right space. Adam, we'll have you kick it off. Why don't you tell us who you are, plug your pluggables, and tell us who you're playing.
Hello, I'm Adam Rose, and I would like to plug my studio, Grim and Perilous Studios. You can visit us on our website. That's www.grimandperilous.com. And you can see any of those announcements. One coming here real soon is that we've got a new monster up on our Patreon called I'm going to make a fool of myself, the Catoblepas or the Catoblepas or something like that. But no matter how it's pronounced, it looks awesome.
Nice.
So
very cool. I don't think I've ever ran that monster in 5th ed.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a fun little thing. Did you get the good stink on it?
Honestly, I am proud to say that I didn't create this creature at all. It was done by Jason Birch, who's another member of Grim and Perilous Studios, nice. and K Peak. So I did go over it and I edited it, but I cannot remember if there is a good stink on it or not. Okay. So I would Cato bleep ass. Okay.
Yeah.
Cato bleep ass. There we go.
It is.
And I'm playing Huxley, a young orc sorcerer who has a penchant for blood.
Very cool. Yeah, he really likes to get down to the heart of the matter.
Yes. Yes.
All right. Let's see, Dan.
Just a quick heads up. I don't think your Grim macro worked.
It did not. I'm fixing it right now.
Okay. Cool. Dan, Defenders, playing Steely Dan. I don't even know what I've done useful recently. I've existed.
You do lore checks?
I do lore checks sometimes. Although, I think I've been getting totally owned on those by Huxley lately too. So
you're still walking around with us.
I'm still walking around.
Despite only having 1 foot, you're still walking around.
I exist. Yeah. I take up space. Sometimes I take up attacks. There we go.
Very cool. And Jake.
Well, I'm Jake. I am with the Defenders of Kobold as well. If there's anything to plug, you will see it here. I'll be playing an aging goblin pyromaniac named Osborne, who has a very large hog that he rides around named Bob. And that's pretty much all there is to him. He's got bad knees.
That's factual. All right. Over on the other side, we have us a Jeff.
Hey, Adventures in Lollygagging, twitch.tv/the Lollygaggers. We play all sorts of different games on Mondays, Fridays, and Saturdays. I am a lunatic today. After this game, Melissa and I are going to go run a game, Worlds Without Number, and then we're going to come back here later tonight and play 4 games. I don't know what I was thinking. So 3 games today. It's great. And then on Monday, we'll be doing some things from the Flood. So good times. I am playing Waits, who's a dwarven minstrel of some renown, and who has somewhat recently suffered a personality changing event where he now just dresses in black and waits for death. Is essentially what it is. Embraces it. Very morose all of a sudden. But that's Waits.
Cool. Sadly, Jen can't join us today. She's feeling a little under the weather, so best wishes to you, Jen, and we look forward to the next session that you can be in. But last but not least, Melissa.
Melissa, also with Adventures in Lollygagging. In this game, I play Balari the Mistwalker. She is a 64-year-old halfling druid who is playing this game without a pride. My pride for a while was cooking, and then I stuck to cooking, and then that wasn't my pride anymore. And then my pride was that I didn't get people lost. And then last session, I got people lost. So I am proud of nothing. So I'll be a little weights-ish and passive-aggressively mopey this session.
Hang on there. What's Pat? What?
I'm not saying you're passively aggressively mopey. I'm just saying I'm going to be a little mopey and in
Okay.
a passive aggressive sort of way.
Okay. I mean, that was kind of aggressive right there. So just
And I'm working on becoming a fast shooter. So once we get some XP today, I'll actually be able to shoot twice
Nice.
in a round.
Very cool. Okay.
Whatever that gets me.
Yeah.
'Cause, I'm good at nothing.
Okay.
Welcome to the party.
So we've done introductions. We know who you are. Now I have a secondary question we're asking as part of this introduction, something I'm hoping to catch all of you off guard with. I'm going to roll myself a d6 to see which one of you will be our first victim in this.
Oh, shit.
3, so that is going to be Jake.
Oh boy, I'm a victim.
Here it is, Jake. Let's say there's this big piece of toast out there. And let's say you're a spread that some intergalactic deity is going to put on that toast. What kind of spread would you be? What kind of spread would Osborne be? And why?
I think blackberry seed spread.
Okay.
Just because he's neither smooth nor particularly pleasant.
I think he's great.
And I can handle that. Very cool. Let's see. Next step. We're going straight to okay. Dan, that means you.
All right. This is just coming from some personal preference. Strawberry rhubarb.
Okay, so why is Steely Dan's preference strawberry rhubarb?
I assume it just tastes sweet, but that's about it.
Okay, that's fine. We're going to finish off that side. Adam, what about Huxley?
Huxley would definitely be apple butter
Oh, there you go. All right.
because it's dark, rich, and it is subtly sweet, much like the blood that courses through some people's veins.
Okay, very cool. Dark and mysterious. Let's see. I'm going to do a D4 to see if Melissa or Jeff goes first. Jeff, you're a 1-2. Melissa, you're a 3-4. Melissa, what about Balari?
I'm going to say that Balari is some crunchy peanut butter.
Oh,
Crunchy peanut butter.
butter's
Crunchy peanut
fantastic.
butter. She is definitely of the earth. Not exactly social, smooth in any stretch of the earth.
Wow, that's a deep
I would say
answer.
she's
Yeah.
a little granola crunchy kind of personality.
That's great. All right. Weights.
So, I mean, it's basically some kind of black licorice flavored jam, as I feel
Okay.
would be most suited to weights currently. I don't think it's always been this way, but as of late, it has been.
It's converted.
And
over.
prune juice, probably,
Mm.
something like that on the side. In the past, it was probably something different, something more vivacious and interesting. But now,
In the past, it was honey.
yeah,
Now it's this.
yeah. Now it's this. It's just whatever gets me there faster. Whatever's black and whatever no one else, wants. And whatever
Okay.
signals my eventual demise is probably what I'm after.
That's it. It's a fun question. I came up with it for Watercolors Warriors. More importantly, I came up with my own answer for this for Chuck as an individual, and it's always honey butter because it's sweet and it's full of fat, just like me.
Aw, that's adorable.
Yeah.
All right. So, last session, we left off. You found a little cabin in the woods, not related to the movie. there was an old lady and a young girl out there making blue candles. She gave you the story about how her grandson was supposed to go be collecting these flowers and he just never came back. So you hunted him down, found him, came across a troll or ogre or something. How did that resolve? Did you parlay with the ogre? Did you all just murder him?
Oh, we killed him.
Yeah, that
Just
sounds
right.
right.
kill him. Yeah.
There
First,
was
we
some
snuck the guy out of the cave. Then we all
Yes.
gathered together and
Exactly.
killed him.
Yeah.
Yeah, snuck poorly.
There you go. So, after that, you all got back on the road, continuing your journey to the Stone Loom Mines. Now, would someone be kind enough to remind the stream why exactly you're all heading to the Stone Loom Mines?
Going to get a sword.
Yeah. It's the sword that slays giants.
Mhm.
Let's believe what it's called. Which has one of the gem thingies for our Stanengeist crown / Avengers
Yeah.
fist thingy.
Infinity
glove.
Gauntlet
Yeah,
crown.
Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
So yeah,
Infinity crown.
I mean, that's why
Eternity
we're heading
hat.
there.
Eternity hat, that's it.
it.
That's what it is. Okay. So, here we are. We're ready. You're 2 hexes away, which means we have 2 travels we got to do. I did get the party sheet working, so if you just double click on the defenders little location marker, it'll open up the party sheet. And we can do all of our traveling rolls there.
Party sheet or party sheet 2?
Party
2.
sheet 2.
Okay.
So we got lead the way with Bellari. Dan,
Gotta
are
remember
you?
what my talents are again.
Doing
Oh, yeah.
the scouting.
Yeah, if you want to drag your character over to keep watch for scouting. Oh, you already just rolled it? That's fine. 2 successes on scouting.
I get myself moved into it too.
Is it working?
I don't see it come through yet.
It looks like the link for it might be broken, maybe.
Well, you should still be able to click on the lead the way survive. Oh, you have to open your
Got
character. There you go. And 2
Got it.
successes there. Okay. Uneventful. Well, not uneventful. You safely are going to navigate through this hex. But Steely Dan, you're kind of scouting ahead, making sure the roadway is safe. And as you do so, you actually come across, you're following this like old trail cutting through the woods. And you come across looks like a small camp set along the side of this old trail. Give me just a second. I'm trying to figure out where my marker is. There it is. So we move. Oh. This down a hex. Very cool. And as you're kind of coming up, you see this old camp. You get a look that it looks like it might be occupied. If you want to get any closer to get any more information on it, you're going to need to give me a stealth test or whatever the equivalent in this game is.
It is stealth.
It is stealth.
Let's give it a try.
Yeah, you get a success. So as you approach up, you can see this camp. Looks like they're 5 rough-looking travelers. Looks like they're led by this kind of big, burly guy. They all look kind of looking around. You see, they all look underfed, a little emaciated, like they haven't had a good meal in a while. They haven't noticed you. What do you want to do?
Is it possible just to kind of listen in for a second and
Sure. Yeah,
see
no,
what they might
I'll
talk
let
about?
you have that. The conversation that you listen in on, it revolves around food. We got to get something to eat. We got to find a way to get some coin to buy some food. You know, we've been sitting here for a while and no one else has traveled by. we need to be ready in case someone comes by. That way we can jump them before they realize what's happening. I'm so hungry. It's been days. If there was any meat left on the horses, we'd eat them.
All right. I guess I'll go ahead and take that back to the party. We got some bandits. Might be easier to just avoid them.
How many were there?
You looked and you got to count them. Looks like there's 5 of them.
Oh, quick question.
Yeah.
Did we have any time to rest after the incident with the heart?
You know what? Yeah.
Okay. So I can heal up my damage that I took?
Yeah.
Okay.
Does
I'll go ahead
Dan
and take it.
share the information about them being hungry or just that they're bandits?
I'm sure. I mean, hungry, but still bandits. Their plan is to jump us for our food. So, I mean, we might be able to negotiate with them, but
Well, Bellari
Sounds
is
like-
always up for feeding people as
Yeah.
a negotiation tactic.
it seems like their intent was just to get at whoever shows up quickly, before they have a chance. So,
Hmm.
I suspect there's a little window for negotiation.
And
We could maybe
Perhaps.
make one, but
perhaps we could help them out.
We packed plenty of provisions. I could cook up a quick lunch and share it with them, and we can both be on our separate ways.
Hmm.
it sounds like they've been, staying here to attack people. As much as I like to help someone, I'm not sure they're the kind of people I want to help.
Hunger drives people to do things they wouldn't normally do. I'm not saying we don't keep some weapons drawn, but
I mean, they try something, then we'll feed them to Bob.
then Bob won't be hungry and
Exactly.
solve all problems.
What did you get to look and see what they're comprised of?
Not sure if I got that much information.
Just
or not.
a group of humans. Dan, you would have seen they look rough. Clothes are filthy, tattered. Looks like maybe they had some weaponry on on them. But mostly it looked like they had like farming implements. Like someone had like a woodsman axe, pitchfork, maybe a shovel, maybe a hand sickle or something like that. Didn't look like they were armed.
Not even your ordinary bandits then.
Human. Hmm.
Human.
One larger one, if I recall.
Yeah,
Hmm.
one dude looked like he was in charge. Yeah.
Not Osborne. Huxley appears to kind of get lost in thought for just a moment.
Something on your mind?
Yes, I do believe that we should try and help them out. I mean, if they don't have weapons, then I don't believe that they are wanting to be bandits. So, yes, if not, then we will defend ourselves and then feed them to Bob.
Seems fair.
So how do you handle this?
Everyone okay with us offering them a share?
I don't mind, but we should probably have someone kind of hang back a little bit to cover our backside.
Maybe we jump them and then we give them food.
Force feed them.
Reverse bandits.
You're going to sit there and you're going to take this food. You're going to eat it.
Only give them like the healthy stuff. Don't give them the good stuff,
Yeah.
All that black licorice is mine.
The good stuff, that's questionable.
It's the good stuff. Would you drink Jaeger?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I
Black
do.
licorice?
Yeah, it is. Anyway, So it sounds like the plan is to go and try and help them.
Mhm.
Who's the leading? Aggressively. So give me
Aggressively
a
help.
plan of action here. Who's leading the way? Who's doing what?
I can go up first if other folks want to have weapons at the ready.
Okay.
Huxley would want to be standing behind her to impose a strong presence.
Sounds good.
I suppose I can take the rear guard. They're planning to jump people in the parties around us.
I'll hang back, but just a little bit, like a good charging distance, so I can get a nice running start and then bonk people with a shield.
I'll be next to Huxley or behind Huxley, something like that.
Okay. So the people who are moving directly up, are you trying to sneak up, or are you just walking up there, making your presence known?
I'll sneak until we're, maybe 20 or so feet away, and then I will call out.
Okay.
And I already have in my hand some like bread or something.
Okay. So sure. As you walk up with Waits and Huxley kind of flanking you, you've got bread in your hand. You call out. They immediately notice, and the biggest guy, we're going to say it's this front guy here, hops up, and he actually pulls out a sword. It looks old, it's kind of rust on it, and it's kind of bent off to the side a little bit, like it was, damaged a little bit, and
Uses a hammer.
Could be. Ah!
Bought from an instant store 5 months ago.
Yeah. Ah! State your business sneaking up on people like that. Don't you know these woods are You got bread there.
Indeed.
Why don't you hand that on over? No one here needs to get hurt.
I think we should probably all... There's no need for weapons here. Just travelers sharing some food together.
He kind of looks over at the others, and they kind of start moving around. They're reaching for their improvised weapons. Well, listen, I don't know what you think's about to happen here, but you hand over your food and your gold, and we'll let you move on.
I think we're about to share a meal, and we'll all keep our gold to ourselves. You get free food, and then we leave.
And you can keep your lives.
Okay. So,
and that.
Free food. What's the game here? You up to tricks?
No, I've spent my entire life wandering, and some people help me. I help other people. Everyone needs food. This isn't need for an economy. This is just hungry people should get food when other people have food to spare.
Valari, why don't you give me I want a test here, and I'm going to want a manipulation test, but go ahead and take a +2 for Huxley's injection of a little bit of intimidation. You also got Waits there as well, looking black and vicious. Okay. So you expect us to believe that you're just out here feeding the hungry?
I mean, if we come across hungry people, that's not our aim in life, but we do.
One of the guys standing closest to the boss, looks like a peasant. Maybe he's 14, 15 at most, almost a kid. You can hear as this kind of, he's pausing, the boss is pausing, trying to think of what he's going to say. And all of a sudden, the kid's stomach just gives a growl, that intense hunger pain. He kind of clutches his gut like, boss, maybe we should listen to him. I'm so hungry. Can we just eat? Fine.
And I'll break off some of the loaf and just sort of throw it at the kid.
Kid catches it, just starts inhaling it, just chowing down. Fine, but no funny business. And I'm keeping my sword at hand. I don't trust this funny game you're playing.
And so I'll just kind of start. Do you mind if I set up and I've got like a little field kitchen kind of thing? I could just.
Fine.
Is this okay? And then I'll just try to start conversation just kind of about like how do they come on hard times and.
Sure. The boss, another dude, he's like, go get us some water. And the guy picks up an old pail and he runs off into kind of like the wooded area nearby. The boss guy like, yeah, we were from a village east of here. A little farming village just past the Groveland Woods. And the Rust brothers came to town. We managed to skip away before they took everyone else. But we've been out wandering, hunting for food and coin.
We have no love lost with those Rust brothers.
They're a foul bunch, just minding their own business.
What is the name of your settlement?
It's Westboro.
I look to the rest of them and I say, is that anywhere on our way to where we're going?
And he can.
Oh, it can be.
Yeah. Which woods did you say it was?
The Groveland Woods, just east of here, past the mountains.
If they could mark our map for us.
Yeah,
Perhaps.
I'm working on that. Foundry
Yep.
updates.
I'm gonna get suspicious with him now, even though I'm gonna be like, east of here.
I'm sorry, west of here.
Woods
My
are
bad.
West of here.
That's Chuck's.
Everyone tackled their liars. No.
That was my bad. Let's see, modules. Yeah, I'm getting ready to drop an icon on the map. They'll show you where it's at.
We're all bad at directions. It's amazing we get anywhere.
It is, yeah.
I thought I knew how to travel by the sun, but someone else, has to do that. No longer trust my senses.
Yeah.
I reach my hand out towards Bellaria as if to place on her shoulder, and I'm saying, we all have our bad days. You'll have another good one.
I suppose, but I mean, if we can feed some folks, that'll have to do.
Well, I look forward to the meal.
Yeah.
It's good to share a meal.
Mm-hmm.
And she's excited about the cooking that she's doing.
So, yeah, if you want to go ahead and give me your test for cooking up a tasty meal.
Okay, so I am rank 2 chef, so I can create an extra unit of food.
Nice.
Sorry, I haven't cooked in a while. I think it's survival. I'll just roll survival. Two successes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you're able to make a tasty meal for everyone. I have very crudely on the world map marked where Westboro is, and very chunky, because the upgrade, I'm not sure how to get text boxes on anymore. It's being dumb.
Good enough.
That's kind of far away.
It's a clip.
Yeah, they ran a good distance.
Yeah. So yeah, you cook the meal. They definitely eat a little more of their fair share, but they're starving. You can see as they eat, their stomachs almost seem a little bit bloated. It's been so long since they've eaten. You can see their stomachs kind of, extend with the meal.
Do you have a heading where you're going?
Right now, we're just going away. We gotta trying to put as much space between us and the Rust brothers as we can.
And I turn to the rest of the group and say, do we have any ideas of where we should send them? I mean,
I do.
what do you
And
think, Huxley?
I try and whisper so that they can't hear. They could always be put to work, have a purpose in life, in a safe place back in Stonehole.
Consider that
Weatherstone. Sorry,
Weatherstone.
different game I'm playing.
No, that's fine.
I consider that.
Mhm.
It might be a long hike, though.
I mean, they've made pretty good distance already.
We have enough provisions to give them so that they're not going to take advantage of some other traveling folk who aren't as prepared as we are. If we send them back to Weatherstone and 2 or 3 times along the way, they take out some poor traveling folk just to feed and full their bellies. I don't know if we've necessarily done a good thing in the grand tally.
You make an excellent point. And I'll turn to the bandits and I'll say, tell me something. It looks like you took upon this lifestyle of banditry out of necessity rather than wanting it. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. We were farmers, you know. Points to 3 of them. They raised mules. I was a gardener. A young kid over there was the blacksmith's apprentice.
Mm-hmm. It looks as if your sword didn't make quite the final transition from a plowshare.
Well, no, the kid brought this with him, but he's too weak to swing it. It was an old bit of scrap that was in his master's shop.
Hmm.
He grabbed it on the way out. Didn't realize how bad a shape it was in.
I see. So, am I correct in understanding then that if you had the opportunity, you would never practice banditry again?
We're doing this to survive, and you got to do what you got to do. But yeah, I don't want to be a bandit. I want to go back to gardening.
I understand.
But them Rust brothers, they came into our home and they made everyone convert. And those that didn't, they either put to the sword or they took with them to whatever reason.
How many of them were there?
Oh, our village had, 40 people in it.
No, my apology. I mean,
the Rust brothers.
Yes.
There's about a dozen. Looks like they were riding north out of Hagler's house. Or riding from the north out of Hagler's house.
Well, at my best, I believe that I could handle 3 at once, force pushing it. And even then, I may not make it.
Yeah, they're a tough bunch. They full of themselves, which makes them more dangerous.
Well, I do not have any love at all for them.
Mm-mm.
And should I happen to be in the area, I would be for making sure they get their comeuppance.
Now, that would be good news there, but ain't no one could stand up to them Blood Brothers, or the Rust Brothers. They're a dangerous lot.
Mm-hmm. They are. And I'll let the conversation kind of stop there from what, I was trying to get.
They
I wouldn't be
all
opposed to sending them on, but
We could generally give them the directions of where Weatherstone is, and if they find somewhere else along the way that they would prefer, that's their choice.
How much food can you spare them? A few days travel north to get to Weatherstone. Can you spare enough?
Yeah, I think I could do that. And I'll start rooting around the wagon, and I'll reach into my D12 supply of food. I think we got enough here to spare some.
So what is it? You get 2 quarter days, or you get 2 hexes per quarter day of travel. Let me check my cheat sheet.
And I would have made 13 units of food.
It's a lot of food.
Nice.
2 hexes per quarter day. So let's see. Let's if they travel 1, 2, 3, that's 1 day. 5, 6, that's 2 days. Looking at like 2.5 days on foot if they don't encounter anything that would slow them down.
Sorry,
maybe
it's
send them a little more than
it's
that.
1d6 plus 1. Apologies.
Okay.
Sorry, how do you do the roll without the
Slash R.
Yeah.
Slash R.
I'm used
and
to
then
the little
space
dice tray.
D6.
Yeah, that also did not carry over.
So I made 4 units of food. Sorry, I don't have a proper kitchen.
Okay. And also, if you're looking for more food not on your supply, you can also spend a quarter day to try and hunt or fish, scavenge.
Well, I'll do the same thing that the others are doing, and I'll just pull off some. I have plenty of food and water, so
I do too.
I'll donate over, a ration of each, and give them directions, and I'll tell them speak to Helen. She'll get you sorted. Assume that if we're not there, she's in charge. You do what she says, she'll put you to work, find your purpose.
You all pay good wage?
Good enough, better than what you're making now.
Well, it's easy to do. You got a garden for me to work in?
Not
Of
yet,
sort.
but we need one.
All right.
You
Well,
can
go ahead.
you can make it as you wish.
I can handle that. I've never got to build up a garden without direction before. That could be fun.
So I don't have any extra food to spare, but I do have some water. And I hand over a die worth of water.
Okay.
I'm throwing in one of each as well.
Ditto.
Also give them some torches.
Cool.
You don't know when you might need that. I've got a D12, so I'll give them 2 of them, down to a D8 for myself.
All right. So they'll consider your offer on Weatherstone. They give a, we got food here. We don't need to do banditry. And if you got a place for us to go, we'll certainly consider it. I'm trying to remember how to add people. It's not working. I'll worry about that later.
I don't think we actually caught your names.
Oh, yeah.
Bandit 1, Bandit 2.
Oh, no, my name is Argum. Argum Twinbeard. I shaved here recently, so the title's not real accurate. But let's see, you're gonna get Argum. I'll put that down. And then also they're the other 5. They're the 3 guard or stablemen, whatever you call them, mule raisers. They're brothers. Their names Steve, Steven, and Stefan.
Your brothers. Your parents named you Stephen and Stefan.
And Stephen.
It's Steve.
And
Steve, Stephen, and Stefan.
Yeah, well, they were. Yeah, the parent, mom and dad, they weren't so good at writing and reading. So when it came time to fill the form out, they only know how to write down kind of one name and a few variants of it. So that's what we got with.
And they didn't just give you better nicknames? over time?
Actually, all of our names are all Steven, but to differentiate ourselves, I go by Steve, he goes by Steven, and he's the one who's really high cultured. He knows how to write down at least 6 words. So we call him Stefan to show that he's the smart one.
There we go. It all makes sense now. Steven squared. And Steve.
And the young kid, his name is Jimmy.
Argum, Steve, Steven, Stefan, Jimmy. It's been a pleasure. Hope to see you back at Weatherstone. Don't go turn into banditry en route. We'll be returning at some point. Speak with Heldrin, but we have other business to attend to the south.
Okay.
Tip my hat, and I'll mosey on away.
Okay. They would say we're gonna probably finish packing up, stay the night here, and then set off in the morning at first light. So, okay,
Safe travels to you.
Yeah, I appreciate you doing what you're doing. This is a shitty world, and not everyone is kind as a group of you.
When you live a bit outside of the groups, you learn to just assist your fellow human.
Well, that's a good teaching right there.
I look through my bag and I've got nothing else for weapons. I was going to try to give him a knife or something, but I got nothing.
Okay. If I'm correct, if we open the party sheet, you all did have...
I think we have some spare weaponry, but
You do.
I'm not sure.
You do have 10 scimitars and 9 large shields in your wagon.
I'm not sure if arming them is necessarily a great idea, though. They wouldn't be proficient with these weapons necessarily.
Yeah.
May get themselves in over their heads.
Well, at least a shield or two, if you're worried about the weapons.
Shoulder 2 probably couldn't hurt.
You gonna give them, what, 2 shields?
That makes sense.
Cool. Okay. Are we ready to continue on?
So,
Cool. Let's go back and do another hex of movement. You want to roll that out?
yes, indeed. Not bad.
5 successes.
Wow. That's fantastic.
Yeah,
No
Bellari
kidding.
can see the future.
Yeah. Yeah, the
Next Texas.
next hex of your journey is uneventful. Nothing happens, you make it through the woods. Eventually, you come up on the, what you believe to be the Stone Loom Mines. Yeah. So you it's built on there's this large outcropping of rocks, a little larger than a hill, not as large as a mountain. And you kind of move through it, and eventually you come across the large opening of the mine. As you come up, it's warm arrows just kind of blowing out of it. It reeks of blood, rot, foulness. Yeah, let's say gaps like a toothless mouth. There's this big gate that was over it. Half the gate's missing. The other half that remains is broken and hanging off a huge iron hinge. And yeah, it's just this warm air is just blowing out, and it just reeks.
Delightful.
You know if there's a settlement or anything nearby that used to be attached to this, or that used to send workers here? Or is this mine just sitting randomly in the middle of forest somewhere.
I'll tell you, because I'm pretty sure we've rolled on that before. No, it's pretty much standalone. Back when this was actively used by the dwarves actually lived inside it. So the mine itself
Okay.
was their settlement. But
Okay.
yeah, currently there's no surface settlements or anything in the nearby region.
Well, why don't we reconnoiter around the entrance a bit, see if we can find signs of who might be taking up residence within.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, just carefully look around a bit, see if we see any signs of recent activity here.
Yeah, why don't I'll give you some information off the top. Looking around the area, you don't really see signs of anyone recently being around the entrance, at least. There's no signs of old camps. There's no like real activity in the ground. It actually, the most of the wildlife that you kind of travel through the forest seems to be kind of void in this area. So there's no sound of birds or anything, no small rodents you see like squirrels or anything. If you kind of walk the area a little bit in a larger loop, you do find maybe, I don't know, 70 yards from it, kind of hidden in an outcropping of rock. You found a large, just perfectly circular hole, maybe like 15, 20 feet in diameter. And it's got this huge iron kind of grate over the top of it. And a portion of it is rusted out. And there's a large hole, large enough that someone could climb down it. As you're kind of standing by it, you can hear the sound of water kind of echoing up. You're not sure how far down, but that's kind of what you find on the surface. The main entrance, and then not a huge amount of distance away from there, this port, this, I don't know, drain, whatever you call it, vent, huge hole. Looks like it was cut into the rock, so it's not natural with this big grate over the top of it that's partially rusted through.
Well, we have two ways inside. Front door, side door. Not entirely sure what we're going to find inside, but I'm sure it's not going to be anything pleasant.
Wasn't yeah.
Best we gear up. And then decide how we want to go in, find some place where we can set old Death Butter and the rest of our caravan here.
Yeah.
I imagine be ready for anything down there, combat and such.
Yeah.
Not
If I
all of
recall,
us will
there
make it out.
was multiple entries in, right?
Yeah, I mean, we found two here, front door or side door. There might be others that we haven't been able to find, but there's the very least there's this pointing to the drain.
Who's the most agile of us to go down the drain first? Might that be Bolari?
Well, ain't this old man?
I'm not that young, but I think I'm
Okay. So I'll say,
relatively.
you spend a little bit of time, you find a decently covered grove of trees that you can put Death Butter and your other pack animals in. Your wagon's in there. Finnegan, I'll stay here and I'll guard the wagons for you. I'll tell you what.
All right.
Why don't you want to go down with us?
Because
What are you afraid of?
did you smell how that thing smells? Ain't nothing
Bad.
good comes from a stink like that. If you really want, I'll come with you. But I gotta tell you, I'm also fine just staying here and guarding your horse.
I take a deep breath in to see what it smells like again.
It's rot. You can smell clearly rotting meat. There's mustiness to it. Just this warmth is coming out of it. Very hot, very humid. And it's almost, that mustiness almost has like fungal kind of notes to it as well.
Mm, delightful.
Take a lesson from a different game. I will get out a piece of cloth, put it around my face, cover up my nose and mouth.
Seems like a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know,
I see
just
Wade's doing that, and I think I'll do the same.
yeah, it felt like the right thing to do, like a something from another life, maybe.
Yeah. So, yeah, you want me to stay here and guard, or you really want my company down there?
Do we have anything here in the carts or anything like that we wouldn't want? I mean, other than death butter, like
I don't think we have anything
And bombs
really
and
important
such.
in the cart.
The scepters, it's Weatherstone. The crown, I don't remember where you put the crown. You have been back
we go
to
back?
Weatherstone.
Did we go
we-
back afterwards? I couldn't remember.
You did go back, yeah. So maybe you
Okay.
stored the crown at Weatherstone as well.
I think we're keeping everything of note at Weatherstone at the moment.
Okay.
All right, so basically it's just death butter. Like
Yeah.
there's nothing
And
else
the
that's irreplaceable.
Bolari thinks the field kitchen is invaluable, but others may disagree.
Yeah.
That's
Another
fair.
one. Okay, well, Finnegan, if you stay here, just remember Death Butter's in charge. You do it, he says. Understand?
Yeah, I got you. Listen, Death Butter and I, we're good pals here. We, I'll take Death Butter's lead, if any shit hits the fan out here.
Is Bob coming or staying too? Because is Bob in charge?
Oh, yeah. That's
Hey,
right.
Bob's the
Kabarbo
enforcer.
3. Yeah. Hey, Kabarbo 3. Thanks for that follow. Anyway, so, is Bob staying with the wagon, or are you taking Bob?
Bob is going to be Death Butter's enforcer.
Okay. All right. I get it. Death Butter's in charge. Bob's the muscle here. And, I'll just, I'll be their scout. I'll keep my eyes peeled. And if I see shit, I'll make sure Death Butter's aware of it.
Get yourself a snack too while you're at it.
Oh, I can snack. I love snacking.
Bob's aware of it, too.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
All right, let's go get Stinky.
Okay.
Yep.
I don't know. Say something cool, because that couldn't have been good.
No, that was good. That was good. A little dirty.
All right.
But it was good.
Yeah.
Are we going to go down the drain?
That was my thought. If others had different thoughts.
Yeah. I always prefer the non-front
Front door.
entrance.
Okay. So,
My only concern is how deep that drain is.
yeah, you're all standing around the drain. Like I said, the rusted out portion of this grate is large enough that you can all get through it. You may even, think that, hey, maybe tying something to one of the grate may be a good anchor point. But yeah, you don't know how far down it goes. You can hear water down there. You still get the same kind of warmth and moisture and foul smell coming up off of it. When you look down it, it just looks like pitch black. If you want more information, I'll require a test. Or you can just tell me whatever your plan's going to be for moving down, or if there's any testing that you want to do that you think won't require a test, I'll let that go too.
First, Bolari is going to kind of go in the cart and she's going to grab kind of a combination of different herbs and kind of give everyone, kind of ask for their face covering. And she's going to kind of roll up just some herbs so that when we're kind of breathing in, we're kind of breathing through some better smelling herbs.
Oh, that's
That's
a
not
good
a bad
thinking.
idea.
Yeah.
Eat.
Yeah, Huxley will take some of his hood and from his cloak and just try and rearrange it so it goes in
Wrap
front
it
of his
around.
face.
Yeah.
Or his cloak backwards.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, standing here, face mask with a little bit of herb under there to try and mask the scent. What do you want to do?
Does the grate have any kind of cracks in it that someone could, like myself, could try to get inside and then kind of help push up?
There's a big portion of it that's actually just rusted and fallen through, and it's large enough. Maybe it's 4 or 5 feet in diameter, so it's plenty big for anyone to climb down in there.
Try to do a move unless someone else wants to go in.
I can see in the dark, so I suppose I could go in first.
Oh, yes, that's probably
Does look
even
like
better.
a job for the hooch
Yeah.
goblin.
Yeah.
Indeed.
I don't know if I can see in the dark or not.
Why don't we
All
go
right.
ahead and wrap a rope around hooch goblin's stomach, lower him down, just to be safe. We don't know necessarily how far, because if it goes in the darkness, we don't know how far it goes down. Just to be sure, if you get into trouble, tug on the rope at least, and I don't know. I guess two tugs for trouble, and like 3 tugs, everything's clear, and we can start coming down too. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Mhm.
All right.
I know 2 and 3. Yeah, I know those.
So yeah, do you attach your rope to the grate, or
I don't know if I want to attach to a grate where most of it has already fallen through. So I
fair.
feel like we'll tie it to like a nearby stone or rock.
Sure.
And if it's short of that, those of
Yeah.
us who are not going down can lower it.
I'll say yeah. There's some trees next to it that look sturdy and well rooted. There's also some larger rocks. Won't be a problem finding something to securely anchor it to. So you got this rope. You drop it in. As you drop the rope in, you don't actually hear any kind of splash or anything. Yeah, it's Hooch Goblin. Are you climbing down?
I believe I will.
Sure. So you kind of lower yourself down on the rope. Maybe you do a little like wrap around your waist or something to kind of give you a little bit more control on your descent. And you start moving your way down. You move past the grate. You're now just kind of free hanging there. As you keep going down the rope, you notice that the walls of this, it's just cut out of the stone. It's almost smooth. There's the occasional, bit here sticking out or dipping in a little bit. So there could be handholds if you need it. The walls, though, are slick. The occasional time when maybe you like push off a wall, they're slick with like algae or fungus or something like that. Like it's just moisture, stone, darkness. Great place for algae to grow. Go ahead there, Jake. I want you to give me a test here. I want you to give me just give me a scouting test.
Bing, bang, boom.
Nice.
So as you're moving down, you start to hear a new sound. You can still hear the water down below. You look up and you can see the light from above, and you can see everyone kind of watching from overhead, peering down into the darkness. It's this buzzing noise, maybe the occasional click of something hitting the walls. As all of a sudden, you're flooded by just this swarm of large insects. Think like cicadas or beetles or something like that. Large as they all just go rushing past you as you're going down. The rest of you're all kind of taken aback for a second as all of a sudden this just big swarm of bugs just comes bursting out of the cover. Jake, I want you to give me another test to see if you can hold on. Give me a might test.
You ready?
While these bugs are accosting you. Not enough to do any damage, but definitely they're in your face. They're landing on you.
Why is it telling me a D8 on my...
Do you have a talent? I have a talent that puts some D8s in places I don't want it to.
Yeah, I think it's a fighting one. So yeah, I don't need that. I'm just gonna bing, bang, boom.
Okay. Do you want to push?
Ooh, I'm gonna... Hey, yeah, I think I'll push that.
Okay.
Whew.
Yeah, you get your success. You manage to stay. You kind of ball up on the rope as they're all going past you. But you safely weather this bug storm. It's now you're maybe like 30, 40 feet deep.
Do the bugs fly out of the
out of
the hole that we could see?
Yeah. But they just fly out and they just kind of disperse.
Oswald, you all right?
Yeah. Got a bug in my teeth.
Okay.
Cave
All right.
snack.
Good to know. Like, Huxley looks a little bothered.
It's fair. Let me... I'm adjusting a few things on the back end here. So eventually you're climbing down this shaft, and there's actually a door frame in the side of the shaft, and you can see there's a flat door. Looks like it opens up into a small hallway, like just in the flat of this. You look down, and it still keeps going down into the darkness. With your ability to see in the dark, you can see you don't see an end yet, but you can still hear the water down below, and the further down you go, the louder this water's getting. But there's an opening right here that you could easily just, swing into.
I think I'll take a quick swing into there and just see what's going on.
Yeah. You swing in. Actually, I am now going to shift us to a map. You should all be on it, is that correct? Should be a lot of darkness. We're just going to do one more, the little logo for our location in this place.
Sweet.
The stream is still trying to load it. There we go. Yeah, that big circle is the shaft. It looks like there's a stone floor. It's not. It just keeps going down into the darkness. But you find yourself on this platform. You see it's a little hallway, and then it branches to the left and the right. But you can actually see kind of where you're at now. It does open up into like another opening or something like that, a little bit from the right.
I'll give the rope 3 tugs to give the all clear.
Okay. The rest of you, is everyone shimmying down?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You can all make it. I won't make you roll for this. You've got the big obstacle, the bugs, cleared out. Like I said, the hole does continue down, but you're now in this opening. As you kind of step forward, the hallway goes to the left, goes to the right. If you look kind of down the right path, you can see on the opposite wall, there's a doorway that opens up into what looks like another hallway, maybe a room. It also continues going on down to the right as far as you can see. It eventually disappears into the darkness. And if you look to the left, it seems like the hallway goes for a while, and then it looks like maybe it opens up into like a natural cave.
If we were to give a smell, is there any particularly strong current coming from one way or another?
There's not. This entire place is just permeated. Okay. Now, one thing that you do notice as you kind of stand there for a minute, your eyes are kind of adjusting. Some of you will probably break out torches, but kind of before you get the torches lit, you can actually see that some of this algae and fungal shit that's covering the walls is phosphorescent. It gives off a real kind of light blue glow, not enough to necessarily navigate by, but there's just this bluish tinge given off by this fungus on the walls and ceiling.
Valari, you're a naturalist. You ever seen fungi like that? Plants, such?
You're muted there.
I can't hear. You don't have to be that quiet. Like we could communicate.
I'm going to assume that I have not seen anything like this before.
Nah, living out in the woods and in nature as long as you have, I'll say, yeah, you've probably come across certain fungus, certain kind of mushrooms, maybe certain bugs that give off natural light. Maybe not this particular kind of fungus, but it's
sure.
It's not unheard of, right?
Yeah. And so I'll just kind of explain how phosphorescent things work.
Dangerous. Like we touch it or anything like that, or inhale it or eat it or whatever.
I definitely will have tried that before. If I remember, if I can do a roll, if I remember the outcome of mine.
Yeah, you can go and give me a nature test.
Survival?
Survival, yeah, that's good.
No successes.
You know, some of it, there's a risk that some of it could be poisonous, maybe even hallucinogenic. but you're not familiar enough to be able to identify them off the top of your head.
Do you know how many things I've tasted and tried over the years? I can't remember all of them. I don't know.
I might
Eat it
try
at your
and
own risk.
gather some up for stupid reasons.
Okay. Yeah.
Smear some on my sword and say it's magical.
I'd like to take a closer look at it to just see if I can figure out what it is.
Yeah, so Dan, I'll say, yeah, you can spend a few minutes. It's just this kind of loose, like slime on the walls. You can easily just scrape it up and smear it on your sword.
Yeah, I'll put some on my dagger too, so if I throw it somewhere, I can see it.
There you go. And actually, as you kind of start agitating it a little bit, it glows a little bit brighter. Not enough to be, torch-like. But you definitely do notice an increase in, its illuminance. Now, Huxley, if you want to give me a nature or survival test.
Okay.
Could be a nice early warning sign if somebody's moving around in the cave up ahead of us. We notice it gets a little brighter or something,
Well, and let me clarify that. It definitely seems to be like when you directly agitated it.
Directly. Okay.
Just standing next to it, it's no.
Not enough. Okay.
So yeah, with a push, having kind of spent some years in a library studying, you've actually kind of heard of something like this before. The dwarves, and maybe Huxley, you would have some knowledge of this too. I should have thought about that a little more. Dwarves tend to grow phosphorescent mushrooms and algae that they can use to create lighting underground. And with this tint of blue and how it kind of glows when Steely Dan agitates it, this might be that stuff. It might just be, when the dwarves left or were killed off or whatever happened to them in this mine, it was just left to grow unchecked.
Well, in some of the books I've read, there were dwarves who cultivated this in order to make it to where they could see whenever they needed to without having to worry about torches or, it's rather convenient. And I think that we probably won't need torches, particularly if that smell is what it could be. It may be dangerous to have torches down here.
So, Waits, you would also kind of with this might jog your memory a little bit. Another piece of information that you might recollect is that it was very popular in mines where there was possibly flammable or explosive material, such as like natural gas that was being harvested.
Yeah, you're about right there, Huxley. I never quite did the hard labor or anything, but they definitely, I had a cousin worked in the mine, natural gas and such. They use this instead of open flame. You don't want to see what happens when open flame and gas mix. It's not a pretty sight.
I'm not worried about myself so much as the rest of you. And so, no, it is not something I want to see.
Okay.
No, well, hold on. Why don't you describe what we would see if we was to do that?
If you were to combine those two things, well, you see a giant flash of light, and then you wouldn't really see nothing anymore because your eyes would have gotten burned up, your skin would have gotten burned up. If you survive, which you probably won't, you probably look like a burnt up, crispy piece of old mutton or something like that. It would hurt kind of bad.
So it's one of those things best done from afar, is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. And to people you don't much care about,
Gotcha.
So if we can get Finnegan down here, that would be great.
Oh, absolutely. Get him to bring a torch down here. Yeah.
All right. So should we muster forward here then?
Yeah.
Do we believe that it's something we should worry about?
The stuff here?
Yes.
No, I think there's probably way worse things further on in for us to worry about.
Because if it is something that we should worry about, I can go ahead because any fire will not hurt me.
No,
I need to plan it out. That's all.
That this stuff's here is used instead of fire.
Yes. Okay.
You all
Anyway.
hear echoing in the distance somewhere. Sounds like a child singing.
All right, I'm leaving. I'll see you. I don't like no kids singing. This is danger. We're out.
You can make out the words of the song. Sister, brother, how we wax, mother, father, sharpen the axe.
Nope. See ya. Do I recognize the nursery rhyme or anything?
Yeah, it would be a fairly common nursery rhyme. I don't have more of it off the top of my head, but that's the line that's sung, so it's a pretty common nursery rhyme. More so common in more wealthier courts and families, not necessarily a song that, nursery rhyme that's more popular with the peasants. So
Yeah, I'll just be like, well, that's deeply unsettling and a little confusing. Sounds like someone's down here. Child,
you hear it sounds like a young girl laughing, maybe right around the corner from where you're at.
Are we going to slap a child? Is that what we're doing?
Meanwhile, like I'm halfway.
Something like it.
Oh yeah, we could do that. And I'll lower myself back.
I would not prefer to slap.
This
a
isn't
child.
like you waits.
I'm sorry, Dan, but singing children, special little girls in the middle of like some dark catacomb thing. Sorry, that's like I'm out. Anyway, yeah, let's go see what awful horror things are up ahead.
Okay. You all should have permission. Let me double check to move the icon there. So if you want to, someone can take control and just move it where you want to go. So first off, there's this initial turn, left or right.
Which way do we hear her?
The initial song was echoing. You're not able to really pick out which direction, but that laugh from the left.
Let's go to the left.
Sounded like it was, yeah.
I think that maybe we should go to the right.
No, I think we should go to the left.
Sometimes the gods punish you if you always go left.
Yeah, that's fair. That's true. Only douches would do that.
Yeah.
I take it from a warlock. He knows all about the left-hand path. Let's get out of here.
That's great.
I do think we might just want to go directly to the voice, though.
Yes, I do see your point.
On some freaky little demon child coming up behind me.
So, you all turn the corner to the left. And yeah, as you look forward, there's absolutely no sign of any child here. Nothing.
Not
You
yet, at least.
do see looking forward that this kind of stone carved, very much dwarven make. It's very easy to tell that this was made by dwarves. It's got great craftsmanship to it. All the stones are set perfectly. But then it just opens up into what looks to be a huge cavern. You can't get much of a distance looking at it currently. But if you move forward some, you'll get a little better sight.
Are the mushrooms continuing to grow here as well? Are they kind of prevalent through the cave?
Yeah. If you move forward, just looking, you now know to let your eyes kind of focus on that soft blue. And you can see it does spread into the what you can see of the walls and the ceiling of this cave. Maybe every now and then you actually see like a full mushroom sprouting out here and there, and it's also kind of glowing that blue. It's a little bit brighter than just the algae on the walls and ceiling.
Okay. I figure we might look for spots that are dark for some reason as potentially dangerous areas.
All right, I'll step forward. If no one else is going to, I'll go
Well,
ahead. Here,
I-
little young girl.
I'll go with you.
Yeah, I mean,
Hello?
Sorry, I was looking at some spell stuff just in
Yeah.
case I need it.
Yeah.
I've been pouring over my character sheet again.
I'm going to
Move
I'm gonna do like the Jack Bauer 24 yell whisper, young girl. Like I'm yelling but whispering at the same time.
There's no response from the little girl, but where did I?
Hey, son.
But you do is kind of you move into it. You can see this cave kind of moves off into a couple of different branches, and coming off of kind of the branch almost immediately to your right and kind of straight ahead, you do hear some kind of scratching a little bit, almost a little bit chittering, almost kind of insect-like.
Sword out, got the horn out. Be on her guard. There's something up here.
Don't let him get in your little mask thingy. Have a hard time spitting them out.
I'll
Yeah,
peek
matched.
into the alcove to the right.
As you peek into the alcove to the right, you immediately look, like at first you don't look anything, you let your eyes kind of focus, and you see a couple dark spots on the wall in this algae, and as you let your eyes adjust to it, you see two large insect-like creatures crawling along the walls. Look almost ant-like, but big, walking on almost looks like they would walk upright on their back appendages, and their eyes are just focused on you, and you can hear this chittering noise is actually them. It looks like they're communicating back and forth to each other in some way.
They're threatening Frieza as we speak.
Yeah.
It was this big.
As they start crawling along the walls, kind of down towards the ground in your direction.
Maybe we back up a little bit so we can have ourselves a choke point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just take a step back. And I'll just be like, don't come any closer. Something like that. I know they probably can't understand anything we're saying, but I'm gonna say that and
You
slowly
call
back
out,
away.
and as you're kind of watching, they kind of pause, they look at each other, they kind of chitter back and forth to each other for a moment. They both reach behind their backs, and they pull out stone daggers.
They pull out machine guns.
thought they were
Uh,
like gonna start flinging feces or something.
maybe that's what I should have said they were going to do. I'm going to drop some player tokens on.
Yeah.
Yeah, put Blair out front.
In no order.
The rest of us are back by the rope.
Yeah, no particular order. I'm just doing this to track initiative. It won't actually be... We won't be using the map for combat. So let's...
I can threaten them with my glowing sword. Ah.
Let's go ahead.
Pull out of my bag a can of Raid.
What game was that? We did that.
Get a
in
double
one
fist
game.
that.
Did you? I think I put something like that in Mutant Year Zero, but then they never found it because they were fighting like big old cockroaches at one point, and I had like this whole row of Raid that they never found.
Aw, that would have made it so much easier.
Yeah,
Yeah,
does-
would have actually.
Yeah. Anyone got any initiative tomfoolery?
Just me.
All right, so Steely Dan,
I get 3 draws.
3 draws. You're going to probably want to take that too, am I correct?
Yes, I think so.
So Steely Dan gets a 2. 2. Nope, that's Osborne. Steely Dan, why the hell?
I'm not allowed to have good rolls. I see it updated on my side though.
Oh, okay. It just took a long ass while. Oh, and it's pale. Why is that's a horrible font color? Okay, so Steely Dan, you got a 2, so let's unlock the 3 and the 7. Let's see, Jake, you get an 8. Next up is Jeff. You're getting that 7. That is going to be a 4 for Huxley.
Okay.
And Balari, you're getting a 3. And then the creatures get a 10 and a 9. So, good for you. All right, so as we begin combat, Steely Dan, so I'm going to say, yeah, like we said, you all backed up to the entrance to this to kind of give you a choke point. Steely Dan, what do you want to do? They're now, they've moved around that corner so you can see both of them with their knife in hand.
Well, I guess I'll go ahead and get my sword drawn out. Are they close enough to move up like quick action attack?
We'll say they're, what is that, short range? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'll go ahead and get up there and attack one of them.
Sure. So Steely Dan, you run up to the closest one, put your attack on it.
All right, let's see here.
Rustbite, that's 2 points of damage. You're going to push that?
Yes. I'll probably hold off on pushing it since I don't want to damage my stuff.
Sure. Your sword just harmlessly scrapes off their hard carapace, so no damage is carried through.
Goodbye, everybody.
Balari.
All right. Would it be fair to say that I've previously loaded my crossbow
Sure.
for this initial?
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Do you want to push?
Not so good. Sure.
Okay.
I don't think I've attacked any one creature with metal armor since I got this sword.
All right, 1.
Your push, that carries through all 3 points of damage.
Nice.
It's still up. Definitely has taken some hurt to it. Huxley, they're maybe like 5-6 feet away from each other, so they're pretty close to each other.
Okay. The one that was shot, was that the one that was on that Steely Dan is on, or?
Yeah. Well, Balari, would you have shot the one Steely Dan was on or the other one?
Yeah, for efficiency, I would have just kept on the same target.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to try and make it to where Steely Dan is not put in a situation where 2 of them are attacking him. And so I'm going to
go and engage the other one.
Yeah, I'm going to charge over to the other one and try and like give it a good punch in the eye.
Sure thing. Go
or
ahead.
Eyes.
If you want to give me, since it's just a punch, you can just give me a might test. Or is there close? Yeah.
Well, no, it would be an unarmed attack.
Oh, melee,
like,
yeah.
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 Because I got all sorts of talents.
There you go.
Nice.
Very cool. Oh, wow. That's a lot of damage. So that counts as 3 successes. I need to roll against this thing's armor. 1 success. So you carry through 2 points of damage.
Cool. Yeah. And then I yell really loud in its face so as to try and keep its attention.
All right. It seems to be eyes full of rage staring right at you there, Huxley.
Good.
Wait.
Okay. Are they like right next to each other?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna move up then right next to them if I can find so fast action move up.
Yep.
And then for my slow action, I'm gonna go ahead and slash out at them.
Okay.
I have an ability, so I have Sword Fighter, which allows me to slash 2 enemies with my sword in a single action. I roll separately for the 2 attacks.
Oh, I forgot I have that too. Crap.
Well, remember next round. Yeah.
Mhm.
Here's the first one. Okay. I'll go ahead and push
Okay.
Because I have no willpower. Well, I have 1 willpower. Okay, 1 success.
Okay. So I'll roll damage. Roll armor. They eat that. Yeah, they soak
Okay.
it.
And then the attack on the second.
Oh, wow. 4 successes.
That's the one I was really targeting. The other
Yeah.
was sort of like, just in case.
It's just on your way to the real target.
And I take 1, so they take 3 points of damage. You break this one with your sword.
Down, boy.
So let me
Girl, or
roll
whatever the hell you are.
critical injuries for slashing. You chop 2 of its legs off, and it just collapses to the floor, spurting out this green insect-like blood as it kind of crawls at the ground, broken.
Nice. Next one, I'm going to burn with a magnifying glass.
There you go.
We're gonna all light up a bunch of torches so you can focus some light on it.
Beautiful.
Osborne, one of them's down.
Well, I'm rushing the other one to give him a nice little tippy tap with my shield there.
Sure.
Himahula!
Wow, 3 successes. That's pretty good.
Right in the one of its knees.
Oh, they take all 3. You also break that one.
Nice.
So I'm going to hit the in combat. That one does get to take a blunt force critical injury. And you, it doesn't necessarily has teeth, but it has
Mandibles.
these mandibles, and you just crush its mandibles back into its head. As they're both lying on the ground, broken, dying. What do you want to do next?
I figure first check and make sure there aren't more ants coming.
Sure. You spend how do you want to do that? That's the question.
I mean, probably just peer around our little areas here, since I assume we were fighting up kind of by this corridor at this point.
Sure. Dan, give me a scouting test.
All right. I figure if there's 2, there's probably 3 or 4.
You look around this cave area. You kind of poke your head around all the alcoves. You can see that there are signs that there may be more of them. This is like their hive, their nest, whatever you want to call it. Looks like more might live here, but they're not currently here in the nest. You do see what looks to be in the kind of the far back. Looks like large kind of like cocoon egg sacs or something like that. They're brood.
I wonder if you can cook them.
Only one way to find out.
Can cook anything.
There we go. Maybe that's your pride for next session. I can cook anything.
We'll get you some ant eggs. You can make us some ant egg omelets.
But yeah, these insects, they drop, and it's really a real crude stone dagger. Looks like they maybe just found some rocks that already came to kind of a sharper edge, chiseled down the other one, and just wrapped some, looks like cloth or something around it for like a handle. So, I mean, really
Rules.
crude. Yeah, like it's shanks, essentially, stone shanks.
The one that had its mandibles crushed by Osborne. Great job. I'm going to stand over it.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to shout down to it, if you can understand me, tap twice on the ground.
It's kind of like holding its mandibles. It's bleeding. Let me see if it can understand you. This thing doesn't have. I'll just roll. Yeah. It taps twice.
They can understand us.
Mm.
And I start backing away from it a little bit, like, enough to where if it did start to get up, I could still defend myself. But like, my posture changes just a little bit from I'm about to kill you to I might kill you.
Okay. The intensity dials down a few notches, but yeah, it did tap twice. It can understand you.
Just look to the others.
What else is down here we have to worry about? See what it can tell us. Intelligence. We need intelligence.
Well, it's kind of dying right now.
And I could tend to it if it gave us something useful.
Hmm. Did you hear that?
Tap, tap.
Do you agree that if we help you out, we will chalk this up to a misunderstanding?
Tap, tap.
I motion over towards
Okay.
Yeah, if you want
I
to
will-
brain fart.
I'll sheath the sword and I'll get down on my knees and try to roll a heal.
Sure. Oh, it's a little spider.
I think I have something with that. Yeah, I do have.
I thought there was a gnat hanging off my monitor. It's just a tiny little itsy bitsy little baby spider. Can you see it?
Roll for initiative, Chuck.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to let it stay.
All right. 2 successes.
Okay. Yeah, I'll tell you what. You can use one success. We'll go ahead and kind of streamline this. You patch up its critical injury, and then you also are able to return 1 point of health to it. So
Okay.
you do a good enough job. Its mandibles, even though you patch it up, you get it out of the woods. It still isn't going to be quite capable of any kind of verbal speech. But then again, you don't know if it could actually communicate back in your language. Are you going to treat the other one with its 2 legs cut off?
Yeah. Fine. Like I just did this, but all right, whatever. Let's see. 2 successes again.
Okay.
And I won't push any further with that one.
Yeah. Yeah, so you essentially all you can do is kind of just stop the bleeding. I mean, you're not going to be able to put its legs back on, but
That's exactly what I'm doing. Like these aren't twisted in like they're supposed to.
Got some Flex Seal.
See if I find a different one.
this one it's doing its clicking language at you, so it's like I said, just chittering, very insect-like, but it's not anything you can understand. But they're both just there, looking scared. You feel now they would be willing to convey any intelligence they can through their limited means of conveying that intelligence. So what do you want to ask?
Did they make the
Where's
laughing sound?
sword? What's that creepy little girl freaking laughing the other day? You know, that kind of stuff.
So for threats, it's actually the one with its face bashed in. It's going to move up to a portion of wall, relative like a flat rock, and it's just going to use its pincer-like finger. So for threats, it kind of draws what looks like a fat little baby with tiny little wings and horns on it. It then draws a slightly less, looks like a little less fat of a baby, but it draws this beard on the front of it and points to you, Waits.
Dwarf down here still?
It gives a tap tap,
And that's a threat.
and it kind of points at itself.
Threat to you. Threat to me. Us.
It gives 1 tap.
Well, that's interesting. Why is there just one dwarf down here, though?
It shakes its head. And it starts tapping on the wall. Let's see, how many times?
Maybe they've been trying to reclaim this or something.
Just one, though. That sounds.
It
see.
taps 5 times.
There's
No, I'm
5
sorry,
dwarves.
6 times.
There's 6 dwarves down here. Okay, that makes more sense.
And then tap, tap once you say that.
And a
then
hobbit.
there's-
No.
Then there's whatever the hell this other thing is. A flying baby
Demon
with
baby.
horns.
Tap, tap.
It's a demon.
Tap, tap.
Oh boy, Dan.
Uh,
We got ourselves and the demon baby is with the doors,
1 tap.
so they're separate. Okay. Oh,
And then
That's why Finnegan didn't want to come in.
It points at the demon baby, and it taps 7 times.
there's seven demon babies down here.
Tap, tap. Then it goes back to drawing, and it draws what looks like starts looking like a person, but the head kind of goes off to the side in like a snout, and it's got a thick tail coming out of it. Looks kind of reptile-like.
Lizard person?
Tap, tap.
Demon lizard person?
1 tap.
So there are lizards in addition to demons.
Tap, tap.
How
Threat
many
to us.
lizards?
Yeah, exactly. How many lizards?
A threat to us.
It taps 16 times.
Oh.
Your audio's not coming through, Jeff.
It's okay. I was just saying, okay, well, who made that sound? Was that the demon baby making the crying girl sound?
1 tap. Then it moves over to another portion of wall for kind of a fresh area to paint in. And it paints what looks like a big kind of lumpy circle, and it starts drawing little lines off the side of it. And on the very top, it paints like a stick figure of a little girl. Then underneath of that,
Wait, is that like a half spider, half person, kind of like a centaur, but with spiders?
1 tap.
No. All right.
And it goes back and it redefines those lines, and they start looking a little tentacle-like.
How many more of you are down here?
It gives 8 taps.
Why are you down here with all these dangers?
It looks kind of perplexed, doesn't really know how to answer that, but then it kind of walks off and points down the cubby where the larvae were.
Was this originally your own?
1 tap.
So you moved in here.
Tap, tap.
You're simply trying to survive.
Tap, tap. So then it goes back underneath the picture of that tentacle blob girl thing. And it draws pretty decent drawing of what looks to be a worm with sharp, pointy teeth on one end. And then it draws, think like a stick figure face in the center of it.
Person eating worm?
Tap, tap.
Mm.
Can
Big
you
worm.
get us
then.
to the? Can you get us to the dwarves that would be friendly to us? If we can get some allies down here, maybe we can make friends with these dwarves. And
It gives 1 tap, but then it moves to another flat portion of rock, and it starts drawing like it draws a star, and it starts drawing some lines. It draws a line straight down, and it draws a line to the left, and then straight down, and then to the left again, and then it puts another star.
I'll
So it's
point
not
at the
doing
first
alchemy.
star, and then I'll point at us, and then I'll point at the first star, point
Tap,
at us.
tap.
Gotcha. You are here. Is there a food court, like an Orange Julius somewhere in here too?
Tap.
Okay. Well,
It then spends a few moments on that really crude map. and it kind of expands it a little bit. And so, like where it goes straight down from where you are, it turns left. We lost Melissa.
Yeah, it's just got a blue screen of death.
Oh, no.
Oh no.
No, Melissa.
We'll keep going because the only Dan and Adam, you two are mixed up, but I can see both of you under Adam's spot. So we're just going to keep going with this. And hopefully
Now's
Melissa.
our chance. Everyone turn on Bellari.
Yeah,
It's
We
our
can,
chance. We can take her out finally.
So,
Uh-oh,
yeah.
Never mind.
yep, the line that goes south and then kind of goes to the left, it draws a line up to a box, and then it draws what looks like a stick figure of a person. And then it keeps going, and where the line initially turned down again, it draws another line going up, and then towards the left a little further, draws another box, and then it tries to draw a stick figure of them lizard-like people. And then
Okay.
the down going south, and then it went further, essentially west, where it pointed out to, like, there's the dwarves. It draws a line kind of diagonal down towards the, like, southeast, and then it kind of points at the baby demons.
Have you seen like sword laying around somewhere?
One tap.
Fancy jewelry, artifacts, that type of thing. Treasure.
Emerald.
It thinks for a little bit. It doesn't really. No, it gives one tap.
All right.
What's
Figured it's
causing
worth
that smell?
It points at the blob thing.
Hmm. And that blob thing is demon.
Tap, tap.
So we got a couple sets of demons down here.
Well, if we can get one, it's possible I could bind it.
Hmm.
It points at the little baby demons. It points at the blob thing. And it points at the worm with the face.
All demons?
Tap, tap.
Are they all working together? Or are they at odds with each other?
It gives one tap. And then it points at the blob thing and the worm thing. And tap, tap.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And then it kind of thinks for a little while longer. And it points at the worm thing. And it points at itself. Then it points at the blob thing, and it goes and it points at its larva.
Hmm. So they're kind of together then.
Tap, tap.
So the worm thing we should not get in violence with.
Tap, tap.
Hmm. So any way that we could let the worm thing know that we are not at odds?
It kind of just gives a shrug.
Just avoid it, I assume.
Tap, tap.
So demon babies on the table.
And it kind of gives a size range, like trying to indicate they're not real big.
Well, if we see one demon baby on its own, I could bind it.
Okay. Okay.
They don't appreciate it being bound.
Can't imagine so. But who cares?
Each slapping it.
So do we try to go to the dwarves first to make some allies up, or do we just try and do a little exploring on our own?
Maybe we could kill two birds, one stone, start exploring in their general direction.
I think it would be good if we had a talk with the dwarves first.
Yeah, they may have some agenda here we can help out with, or some knowledge they may be able to share with us.
Hmm.
I just want to be careful about getting caught up in their problems in favor of our own.
No. Well, I think I'm all out of questions.
Okay, then. Oh, here you go. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. Just playing. Put it back.
Any way we can identify ourselves as friendly to other ants?
Is there a secret handshake, mandible wiggle, something
It
like
gives tap tap. And then it kind of leaves, comes back a second later, and it's got a bit of looks like maybe a chunk of like a egg sac cocoon or something like that, and a bit of like twine or almost, and it punches the twine through the cocoon, ties it, and it goes to put it over Huxley's head.
Huxley doesn't move.
Okay. So you've got this strange carapace like necklace, and like it points at itself, and then it points at that, and puts its hands up.
All right. All right.
Well, maybe we can avoid some trouble for both of us. Sorry. Well, shall we move on then?
Do it. Those legs will grow back. Right? They do that. Right?
Tap, tap.
Huh, good.
Good, good,
Yeah,
good.
everything's fine.
Good.
We're good. I cut off
Sorry.
a couple more.
Now we can all have ant legs.
Ooh. Okay. So, where do you want to go?
We'll blend in with them.
I think we're going to go in the direction of the nearest dwarf.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you head down that hallway, and initially where you could have turned right, you continue down that way.
This way.
Yep. As you kind of get where you were, you can actually see there are what looks like some rooms off to the left, but if you're heading towards the dwarves, you would kind of continue south. And eventually it opens into a large, wide tunnel limed with timber pillars, said that the wrong way, holding the ceiling up. You can see it kind of disappears into the darkness, going to the left and to the right, but turning right is the direction that they indicated. You can also see in the ground here are tracks, like minecart tracks set into the ground, and there's two sets running side by side. Move the map. It kind of. What's that?
I was just gonna say, I think we still gotta proceed cautiously, but
Looking down the hallway, you can see there's an opening on the left wall not too far from you. Opening on the right wall a little further down, and that seems to kind of line up with the one where they drew the line up in the box and they drew a stick figure in there. But continuing on down this giant tunnel would kind of be the direction that they indicated you need to go to get to the dwarves.
okay. I figure we should probably peek into each of these corridors as we move along, just to make sure we're not passing something dangerous. But
Right. We don't want to leave something behind us that can come up.
Okay. So as you kind of moved up to the first opening on the left, you can actually see, it doesn't show it real well on the map, but it's a hallway and then it goes to a set of stairs that descend down, but those stairs are completely flooded. It was just this kind of gross looking stagnant water. There is an opening on the right wall right there next to it. But without moving in further, you can't really get a tell on what else might be there. Just stairs descend down, and it looks like there might be lower levels to this mine that are flooded.
do we want to take a quick peek in that hallway real fast, or
Quick.
Okay.
Sneaky like.
So you move in, and you kind of step inside enough. You can see this first room actually looks like some kind of like mechanical room. There's gears, there's different bits and pieces, belts, and there's a big lever on the wall that's in the up position. Looks like you can pull it down. There's also some barrels setting in here with the lids on them. But it does continue further on. And looking further past that straight ahead, it looks like it goes back into a natural cave. But you can see where you're standing at that it looks like it's at an upward slant. This giant, think of like a corkscrew. That's the bottom half of it's kind of encased in metal. So this big corkscrew kind of setting in this metal trough that's angling up.
Angling up, like the bit is going upwards to the surface.
Well, you can't see one end or the other, but it does look. It's at an angle. So where you're looking at it go up. So it does look like maybe it connects to the floor, and then would possibly, it's large enough. Looks like it would continue up into the ceiling. So from where you're at, you're not real sure if it's like a drill bit or something else. It looks like it might be a drill bit because it's, like I said, this big metal corkscrew.
Mm-hmm.
Could possibly drain the water too if it pushes it up or something.
Well, let's just go peek at it really quick.
Okay.
See if it's see if
You
it's coming or going.
you move in, and it on the ground in this chamber, it moves into another natural stone chamber. Where you kind of enter into the chamber along that wall, it goes down at an angle into a hole in the wall, and it looks like it just disappears. You can see there is some water in the bottom of this trough, and then it also disappears up into the ceiling at the opposite end. It's almost like at a 45-degree angle from one floor to the ceiling going across this.
Hmm.
But you can see there is an opening to the south or down past this giant corkscrew thing.
Not sure how much further we want to take this route here.
Yeah, I feel like we're getting a little off track here, but this might be something to ask the dwarves about when we
Exactly.
get there. Perhaps they know its purpose.
Yeah, my guess is it's just digging equipment and such, maybe repurposed in some nefarious way, but
Yeah. But, it's heading towards that water as well. So could possibly be used as like a drainage system or something to
yeah.
pump the water out.
Yeah, I kind of want to pull that lever, but let's double back and get situated first, see if we can get some more intel.
Yeah. So I think we'll head back and maybe come back up to this
Yeah.
area up here where we can try and peruse the next hallway real quick.
So you're going back, moving past the mechanical room. As you
Mhm.
move back into the hallway, where you can see the water going down the stairs on the other side, you look back going the direction you came from, and it is just a wall blocking the doorway of like writhing flesh.
Ugh.
Oh. That's unnatural. I could try and maybe poison a dagger and throw it at it.
That would be interesting to witness.
Maybe as I turn towards Bellaria, was like, maybe we could put our heads together and figure out what it is first.
All of a sudden, from this wall of flesh, this meaty tentacle launches out directly at Huxley. Huxley, I want you to roll me let's see, I want a move test.
I think it's going to figure out what we are first.
Mm-hmm. That's not good. All right, let's do it. Oof.
You can push
Like
that?
I gotta push. Yep.
Hey,
Ooh.
look at
There you go.
that.
So this thing, you start going to kind of move out of the way, but it still glances you. You get the feeling that if this thing would have hit you directly, it would have thrown you back maybe into the water. But as it kind of glances you hear a little girl's voice. Ha! You're it. And all of a sudden, the tentacle sucks back into it, and then the flesh wall separates, and you can kind of see it like almost soaks into the stone and disappears.
Now, is this the lumpy thing that the ants were talking about? Is that the impression we're getting?
That's a question
I
for
wonder.
the group.
Sounds like maybe.
I wonder if there's any merit specifically for it going for you, Huxley, since you had the
I don't know.
ants.
I hate being it. I could never catch the others.
Yeah.
I think next time we see one of those, then yeah, Steely Dan, you make it with your drippy knife.
Off in the distance, you hear the echo of that singing. What was it? It was brother and sister wax while mom and dad or sister and brother how we wax. Mother and father sharpens the axe. Just off in the distance, echoing that little song.
We asked them which thing was singing, right?
You didn't.
Oh, we didn't. Okay.
I don't think you did directly. You may have talked about it.
Well, when it touched me, I heard something say, "Ha ha, you're it." It sounded like a little girl.
Now, all of you would have been able to hear that.
Oh, okay.
It was audible to everyone.
Well, do we move along for now?
Yeah. Go bind it next time I see it.
Yeah, you're all able to move back into the main hallway. And if you continue heading towards the west, that's the direction they indicated with the dwarves.
Yeah,
now,
I think we're going to come up and check this corridor maybe. But
yeah. So as you kind of move up, maybe you peek in a little bit. There's a strange kind of light emanating from it, almost not necessarily like flickering, but like a rolling light, this light blue. A little bit of mist is kind of coming out of this hall as you kind of peek in. And you can see that light, and you can see that there's mist in there. It opens up into a larger room. Yeah. It does all right.
Playing Fallout has taught me anything. This is explosive. But I don't think my character knows that. So
I'm gonna like whisper shout in Dwarven out into the room, like saying, like, brother, sister, anyone there?
Help! I'm hurt. They're coming for me.
What's this mist?
I don't know. It's glowing. Yeah. You gotta help.
Can you crawl to my voice?
I can't right now. I'm hiding. They're in here.
Who's in there? How many?
There's 3 of them. They look dead.
Oh, like 3 undead maybe in here. There's a dwarven voice.
Do you want to go in?
We should try to help him. I mean,
I'll start walking in there.
I suspect this is a trap.
oh hell yeah.
So as you move in, you see this mystery face. It doesn't have a thing. There's some crates stacked in the corner, and you can actually look. There's a dwarf hiding behind the crates, and his leg looks pretty badly mangled. But you also see 3 undead of some form just loitering around. And as you enter, they all take notice of you.
Hi.
And they start moving on over. want to add, I'm going to guess this is initiative time. So I'm going to add some tokens to initiative. Let's see. I don't want to actually roll initiative, so I shouldn't have done that. We're just going to go popcorn. So, order of the overlay. You all count as 1 through 5. 1 starting with Huxley, 5 is Bellari, 6 is the creatures, and that determines who gets to go first. 2, Steely Dan.
Oh boy. I guess it's another opportunity for me to just go up here and fight somebody and hope I don't die.
Sure. There's, like I said, these 3 undead looking creatures. They look just shambling corpses, tattered bits of clothing, flesh is missing, bones sticking out. They don't appear to be armed. So yeah, I'll say they're at like medium range. So to get up in melee range, you're going to need to give me 2 movement.
Oh, well, then maybe I'll wait for them to come closer because I don't want to just go stand up there and get hit.
Okay. So you, you wait back, you stand. Who's going after you, Dan?
Maybe it would be to our advantage to let the bad guys go first so they can move closer to us and we can optimize our turns.
Yeah, they just mindlessly kind of stumble forward. I'm going to say they're actually going to get into short range. And then they don't have enough action to move and attack. So I'm going to roll me a D4, same order in the overlay. That's going to be 1, 2, waits. You get to go. And then after that, you can continue the popcorn initiative.
Okay. Waits will step up to the front 2.
Yeah.
And we'll swing using his cleave thing that he gets. So attacking 2 separately.
Okay.
So first one, that's 3 successes and 3 damage.
Wow. They don't have any armor. So your 3 damage, it's not enough, but you put quite a bit of hurt on that one.
Okay. And then on the second adjacent one or within range, 4.
Wow.
Wow. That's enough. So let me roll a critical injury for slashing.
Should have traded my initiative.
I just keep cutting off legs. Just
Slash
Leg
out
collector.
and you just hack off another leg. This thing drops to the ground.
get up, throw it at Osborne, be like, beat him to death with this.
Osborne.
Be like, yeah, I'll look at him and be like, now I'll beat him to death with this. This is bigger. Now I got my shield and I'm going up to the one that didn't get felled, and I'll take a swat at it with that.
So there's 3 of them. One waits initially, put some injury on. The other one's
That's
been
the one.
uninjured. Okay, so you're stacking your damage here. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and finish it. Ibahula!
You do. Oh, that's slashing. I didn't realize your shield did slashing damage. Okay.
Well, it's a slash attack, but it does
Probably
force
blunt damage.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll roll a critical injury.
Nice.
You just smash this thing right in the junk so hard you hear a couple pops and it dislocates its hips as it kind of like falls backwards with its legs splayed out real weird and drops to the ground.
Turn to Osborne and be like, dude, come on, man. Like, that's not cool. I don't get
Osborne, do you want Huxley or Bellari to go next?
I think I'll go with the bigger and scarier Huxley.
Okay. Huxley will move up to the one that's left.
Yeah.
And what are they wearing?
Just tattered clothing.
No necklaces or anything at all? Nothing.
Let's go see. High or low? Huxley.
Oh, hi.
High, so I'll roll a percentile. High. Yeah, actually, you can see there's some remnants of maybe some old jewelry or something like that. So they've got a necklace with a medallion. It's got like a silver-looking bangle or bracelet around one wrist.
All right. So then I'm going to walk up to it. I'm going to snatch its necklace. I'm going to cast Raise the Dead, which can also be used to control these.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
What do you need to do for that? You just spend your WP and you take control of,
Yes. So I'm going to make this a power level 2.
okay.
And then I can roll 2d6, right? That's what we do.
That sounds right.
So wait. It's dead. Click on that. 2, roll. So there's going to be a mishap because I rolled a 1, but it is a power level 2. So how do I roll mishap? Is there
Let's see if I've got a table for it. Mishap.
I
Magical
can.
mishaps. I got a
Yeah, what did
table.
you roll? I think you have to roll for the mishap.
Yeah, I do have to roll, and I was looking to see if there was a table built in, or if I just need to reference the table in the book.
I've got the table
Fine.
here, so I'll just
Okay.
hit the button. Oh, you're hungry. You gain the condition hungry. So while you're hungry, you can't recover any strength or ability scores, and you also suffer 1 point of damage per week. That's not going to be a problem. If you are broken while hungry, you do die after another
Fun.
week without food. And as soon as you've eaten, you're no longer hungry. So it's a very easy one to overcome.
Okay. Oh, I am. My belly gives a little grumble as my tummy is upset. But
This undead is now under your thrall.
and with the extra power level that it has, I'm going to make it smarter.
Oh, okay.
Like I'll go ahead and post the spell here. And so because it is a rank 2 undead, it can be enhanced to make it smarter. It regains some of its lost mental capacity in the form of both wits and empathy, and skills associated with these attributes. All the scores are lowered by 1, no lower than 1. Can answer questions about its life both before and after death, but often has an unclear sense of time and can be very forgetful. It obeys its maker and can perform slightly more advanced tasks. So
Nice.
this lasts for a quarter day.
Okay. Yeah. It seems to be overcome with a sense of self-awareness and a throaty, broken voice. Where am I?
You're in the mine.
Oh. Yeah, I remember going into the mine.
I'm sorry to tell you this, but you did die. You are undead.
Oh, that sucks.
It does. You and those other 2 attacked us, and I wasn't. If I was to try and save everyone, then my friends over here would have been hurt. But I did try and save you as best I could.
Well, thanks. Yeah. Oh, that's too bad about Frank and Stan.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Yeah. I'm kind of hungry.
Me too. Are you okay? As I look over towards that dwarf.
Did you stop him?
This one will not hurt you. Don't hurt him.
I'm hurt real bad. I hurt my leg.
Oh.
I fell.
I'll rush over and take a look-see.
Yeah, you take a look. I'll tell you right off the bat. Looks like maybe like a compound fracture or something like that. He's in bad shape.
I might have to amputate.
Oh no, not my leg. Like, can you try and fix it?
I mean, I can, but I mean, theme of the day right now, I really don't feel like the odds in your favor, but I'll give it a go.
Okay.
So I'll give a heal test here. It's 1 success.
You can't, of course, you can't mend the bone. You can't really set the bone, but you're able to kind of clean the wound out, prevent further infection. He's no longer at a risk of dying. He can't really move on it, so he's going to need some help walking.
Who are you, friend?
My name's Gunter. I'm part of Milva's party. I got separated. I fell down, hurt myself, tried climbing in here for a place to hide. All of a sudden, these things started coming for me, so I hid behind the crates.
Milva's party, huh? What are you all here for?
We're trying to reclaim the mine, see what was down here.
And what is down here? Other than...
Well, there was the lizard people, but we hid from them. But there's the little demon baby things that kept coming after us. And I don't know, they were chasing after us when I got separated, but then there's also that creepy ass kid.
How did the demon babies attack you?
Well, with claws and teeth.
No magic?
Not that I saw. We were down in some of the old tunnels, kind of south of the main entrance.
Did you ever come across any giant ants?
No? There's giant ants down here?
There are indeed. But
They're cool.
they don't want... They want peace. But they will protect their own.
Yeah. Now, Milva, she done got a potion that was supposed to turn us invisible, and it did for a little while, but looks like it wore off. That's when they started attacking us.
Yeah, potions are unreliable things.
Any idea where Milva and the rest of your party might have headed to? Did you have like a plan? Where they
No,
headed?
we were, like I said, we were down in the old tunnels kind of south of the entrance, so maybe they're around there somewhere still.
All right.
It's just straight down the main hallway, and then at the end of it, you turn right to the opening that in the wall, and that's where we found a way into the old tunnels. But I ended up getting lost, ended up coming across a flooded section. I had to swim over to some stairs nearby.
So we came across that water maybe south of us.
Yeah.
So if we go across that water, we can get to the other side where your party might be.
Well, it's all flooded. You got to swim underneath and hold your breath. But yeah,
Ooh.
Can you swim with a broken leg?
I made it through once. I really don't. I've been here for a day or two. I don't want to do it again.
Okay. So I'm slowly pulling the sword out, pushing the sword back into the sheath.
Don't cut it off, please. I like my toes.
Well, you can keep your toes.
I like my toes attached to me.
You can attach them somewhere else.
Well, you could always use that leg, and I'll point to the zombie leg that Waits threw at me earlier.
I don't think it works that way.
Does
Anybody
You
have
probably
any?
have a limp.
Does your new buddy want to eat this here, Huxley? Hand the leg over.
Would I know what they can and can't eat?
Give me a lore test.
Okay. I don't have as good a roll because of my headache from earlier, but
Yeah.
I got one.
You've heard stories of undead like this. They prefer the fresh, warm meats.
This isn't quite what they're looking for. I mean, it would do in a pinch, but they prefer fresh and warm. I mean, it's a lot like us. I mean, we prefer ours cooked. I wouldn't recommend us eating these either, even if they were cooked. So I don't know if we can do anything about that on the right now. Now, perhaps if we run across one of those flesh walls, it would be, kind of like a
Go get a snack.
Well, yeah, like a buffet, but
Could be. Yeah.
We want to bring Gunter with us. We want to take him back to our entrance. What do we want to do?
I don't think we should leave Gunter alone to, possibly get in
You
more
gotta
trouble.
take me with you. I can't stay here by myself. Something else will get me.
Yeah, but it might be better off if we didn't have you to lug around. I'm not saying we're gonna hurt you. I'm saying take you back, maybe either to the ants or. Can you climb a rope?
Would you feel comfortable if our new friend, as I point to the undead, were to carry you?
Carrie, it's not gonna bite me, is it?
If I tell it not to, no.
You do look kind of tasty, but I guess I can refrain.
Maybe we
Tell me-
could see what our new undead friend knows about this area too. While we're
Yes,
at it.
we could ask the undead some questions. But there's one question I have for you in particular. Is there anything in your previous life that is unresolved?
I don't know. We came down here looking for treasure. I'd like some treasure, I think.
All right. If we find any treasure, you will have it.
That's fantastic. Thank you. We were trying to get down into the lower mines, but we couldn't find a way to clear out the water. And that's when the injured dwarf, Gunter. Oh, we found how to.
Is it the lever?
Yeah, it's the lever with the big corkscrew. We were going to do some repairs on the machinery at some point.
Hmm.
We think it'll work, but it looks like all the grease is kind of cleared off. We were going to try and find some way to grease it up. That way it doesn't break down.
Oh, I had a good suspicion. Well, I think finding the rest of the doors is probably what's going to benefit us next.
Agreed.
So what's the plan?
Do we want to see if there's any other way? The ants told us to go down here to the right.
Yeah.
Maybe
there's-
we should go with what the ant said.
I mean, I don't envy swimming across a thing with this man with a broken whatever.
I don't either.
I don't want to go activating some machinery, which is going to make some kind of god awful racket. if
And
we don't
possibly
have to.
break further.
Yeah. If we don't have to do those things, maybe we should carefully continue onward. You okay with that, Gunter?
Yeah, as long as you promise your friend here is not going to bite me.
Yes. Do not bite. Do not let this person come to any harm at all.
Oh, okay. As long as I get my treasure at the end.
Yes, if anything should happen to you, if I find any treasure, you will be at rest with it.
Okay. So, your undead friend picks up Gunter, gives him a piggyback ride. You head back out to the main hall.
Before we go real fast, is it worth checking the other guys that we killed in case they had something of note on them? Or
Yeah, if you want
I
to
mean, it
search
takes
them.
a second.
Yeah.
yeah,
Might as well.
If you give them a search, find 13 silver. You find a couple of, I don't know, think like marble-sized raw rubies. Each of them looks like they've got scabbards for swords, but the swords are missing.
okay.
And they both have, looks like flint and steel, but no sign of torch or anything on them.
I take the rubies and I give them to, what was the undead person's name?
My name's Randall.
All right, here you go, Randall.
He takes the rubies and he slips them into a pocket in his tattered clothing. That's a good start. Thank you.
Right.
They were
Yeah, we're
holding
good.
out on me.
All right. So we already found him some treasure. The cheap way.
Oh, I believe if we find some more, I would like to give it to him.
So yeah, as you continue down, you eventually find what they were talking about. Now things get a little complicated here. There's a turn towards the north, we're going to say. You look down there, you can see some large alcoves off to the side, lined with mine carts, and these tracks on the ground go that direction. Looking to the left, you can see there's this big break in the wall, and that's kind of the direction the insects were pointing you to. But looking down just a little ways, you see another giant wall of flesh just completely blocking the path off.
Hang on. Hold up. Because I definitely wanted to try and bind this, but I don't know if I have everything I need to. All right. I'll look towards Steely Dan and I'll say you and me.
All right.
Which one is it?
You want to try yours first?
Thank you. And I start drawing a pentagram in the ground.
Yeah.
And I can try and stand in his way at least.
So
blocking him between
okay.
the fleshy wall. In case it tries to tag you again.
Yeah, so Huxley, you kind of kneel down, you start drawing your pentagram not too far from it. Steely Dan, you interject yourself between it and the thing, and as soon as you get close to it, you hear that little girl giggle like, ha, if you want through, you got to answer my riddle. Huxley, do you keep working on your...
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So this one, I'm going to make it a power level 1.
Okay.
And then roll it. There it is. Okay.
Let's see, what is this? This is... Raised
Bind Demon. I can... There we go.
Oh, just trying to open it. There it is.
It's in the chat.
Okay, you're doing power level 1?
Yeah, I probably should have put a little more into it as gets an insight roll.
Yeah, do you want to? I'll let you...
Yeah, I'll use one more.
Okay.
And then roll that extra d6.
And it gets an insight test
Okay.
to resist.
So 2, yeah, it needs 2.
Insight minus 2.
Yeah. Well, no, it needs 2 successes. So, with a negative modifier, yeah, equal to the power level. Okay. So it doesn't need 2 successes. Dan was right. Yeah, it's dope.
As you cast your spell, you can feel the energy start kind of trying to bend this demon to your will. All of a sudden, she screams. Ah, that hurt! I'm telling Mom! As it then starts dissolving into the walls and the floor.
Uh-oh. Well, that's no worse than what I would have done. I'm sure it would have hurt as well.
Sorry about that.
No need to apologize. We all agreed on it. Well, so it's cleared our path then.
It did clear the path.
All right. Well, do we make our way down?
Sure.
Feeling a bit.
Yeah.
Feeling a bit weak. I don't know if I could really try that again, as I only have 1 willpower left.
Or some more
By the way,
rolls.
Balari would have gone through her bag to find something for you to eat
Oh, thank you.
after that. I don't know how you're hungry after we just had food, but here you go.
It's you build up an appetite doing these things.
I suppose you're That grumbling stomach is going to get us hurt.
Yeah. Thank you.
So yeah, you move south into this section of broken wall. It moves into like a natural cavern. You can see a couple alcoves, but as walking by, other than the blue glowing algae, you don't really see anything. Eventually, you move far enough south that you come across a portion where they started kind of refining this portion. It's actually kind of turns into a hallway that goes left and right. Gunter would point out, if you go to the, let's see, with the way you're facing, if you go to the east, the opening in the east, there's a big, domed chamber with some old ladders you can climb down, and it'll either take you down into the old tunnels that we were working in, or it'll take you to the room with the big water screw. If we go to the left, I haven't been that way. It opens to a chamber with a broken bridge. Now, the diagram that the ants drew you, or to the west, the diagrams the ants drew you, points off to the west.
So this way.
Yeah, they haven't been wrong. They led us to.
Okay.
Let's do that.
So, yeah, you move towards the west. And it comes to, like I said, this big, another domed chamber. You can see that there's a old stone, or actually an old wooden bridge that is broken in the center, so you just got two portions sticking off. Looking down, you can see it's maybe like 15-20 feet to the floor. There's about an 8-foot gap between this bridge where it's broken out in the middle. But on the other side, you can actually see there's an old banded oak door that's closed, and the exterior of this door is covered with scratch marks, like claw marks. Looks like something was trying to get in.
That would kind of seem to correlate with the little demon babies. Maybe they said they were running from them and they claw.
Yeah,
Perhaps
the
they
door, I
chased them
realized I
there.
forgot to put the door on the map. The door would be... the door would
So like
be...
we
right
think someone
there.
barricaded themselves on the other side.
Yeah,
Something
possibly.
Like
Like the doors went in, shut the door. The demon babies tried to get through.
do we see anything below?
Looking down, you do see there's a couple breaks in the wall that kind of open up in a natural cavern. You can see there's actually a few bits of bone, some mushed up maybe mushroom chunks. The bones look old, nothing fresh, but you don't see any signs of movement other than the two paths going down. And yeah, Gunter would be like, we did come up from the lower section before, but it's a really narrow path. If you take the southernmost path, you can crawl through it, and it'll open you back up into the other side of the old tunnels.
When I look up, is there anything up?
Big dome ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the algae. The closer to the peak of the ceiling, the thicker it is, so that glowing blue light intensifies.
All right, no like rafters or anything like that.
Yeah, no rafters or anything.
I was thinking
Anything
like
good to like tie a rope off to in here?
Yeah, that's what I was looking
That's
for.
what Waits was looking for. And yeah, it's just this domed ceiling. Like they carved a dome in it, and there's no supports or anything going up to it. So there's nothing really overhead. The gap is like I said, like 8 feet. So you would have to, if you want to attempt to leap it, it would be, a movement test. If not, you risk falling. There's also...
So who wants to hurl me across this bridge?
Not it.
I could do it if you want me to throw you.
I would be
Yeah,
a
sure.
might
Get
test.
Randy here to help you.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. If you want to have Randall set down Gunter, someone can give me a might test, and I'll let you take a +2 bonus for the assistance from Randall.
I mean, I'll give him a hand. I have a couple points in might. So
Okay, so the three
I'll
of you,
give a hand.
yeah, +3 bonus to whoever wants to make the might test.
I assume
no might.
Huxley, you're stronger than me, right? I would think you described yourself as like a warrior mage. So
Oh yeah. Strength 4, might 2.
okay, yeah, we're around the same. Then.
So might test +3.
Might test +3.
Okay.
Nice.
We throw him too far. He smashes into the door.
I don't want to do that to my,
Osborne. Oh no! God.
not my mini-me.
Oh wait! Tie
Oh, shit.
tie a rope around him.
Okay, I'll say you tied a rope.
Yeah.
Okay. That's not good.
Do you want to push it or call it good?
He's my buddy.
You take 2 damage, but
Ugh.
you do get a success. So Osborne, you're tossed unceremoniously across. You're able to, you got this rope tied to you. You're able to find like a nail or something like that you can tie it to kind of give other people assistance moving across, or at least if they fall down, they can easily climb back up.
Yeah, I'll look for some sort of a structure to attach the end of this rope to.
Yeah. You can easily find something on the bridge. Not a problem.
Goody. We're in business.
So how are the rest of you moving across with this rope to assist you? Tie it off and tightrope it? Use it to give yourself some more momentum and a leap?
If we do tie it off, we won't be able to recover it.
Presumably, we gotta come back this way, don't we?
Seems
True.
like a possibility.
I mean, because if we tie it off, we could just, like hold on to it and shimmy across
Yeah.
the.
I think we tie
was
it
my
off
plan.
and just do the.
Okay. You got a good plan. I won't make anyone else roll for it. You're able to easily shimmy across, and you all make it to the other side of the bridge. And you're now standing outside this door.
Presumably, it's barred or locked since there's scratch marks. I assume.
There's scratch marks. If you try to open the door, yeah, it does seem like it's barricaded in some way on the other side.
I'm just gonna knock. Exactly. Dan and I were thinking the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Knock.
you give it a knock.
And I'll call out in Dwarven. Be like, "Hey, friends, I found one of yours out here. We're friendly."
You hear a gruff female voice return. What the hell? As all of a sudden you start hearing movement, scraping of some kind on the other side of the door. As the door swings open into a rather bright chamber, you see 5 other dwarves in there. Now this chamber is just loaded with mushrooms, just growing all over. You can see to the south, there's a stream. Holy shit, I didn't think anyone was going to come to rescue us.
To be fair, we're not necessarily here to rescue, but a happy accident.
Well, I won't turn that down. And she introduces herself. My name's Milva. I was the one in charge of this expedition until we were trapped in here by the demons.
How long ago was that?
We've been in here for a couple of days since we've been trapped in here. Luckily, the mushrooms are all absolutely edible and there's fresh water to drink. So
We found one of your party.
oh my
Smashed
God,
him up.
Gunter, I thought you were dead. We got separated in the tunnels. And she comes and she stops for a second, very perplexed by the fact that Gunter is receiving a piggyback ride from a zombie.
Don't worry.
But there's a story here, but she helps Gunter off, gets him settled on a soft patch of earth. And one of the other dwarves comes and, kind of starts tending to his leg. And he's just like, oh, this is actually, your leg's in not as bad shape as I was imagining. You patched this up yourself, Gunter? Gunter, no, Waits there did it. He helped me out after he tried to cut my leg off several times, but he did good. Or talked about cutting my leg
If I
off.
tried to cut your leg off, it would be cut off. I
All
just said it was a
Medical
possibility.
recommendation is cutting it off.
Still, thank you, Waits, for helping me. I do appreciate it. So Bill would be like, yeah, we're going to need to barricade that door back up because I'm sure those demons will be returning here in a few hours.
They come on a regular schedule.
Yeah, it seems to be, even though there's no sign of the sun above, they seem to come at night.
Have they breached the door before? Is there any other
No.
ways in here?
No, this is the only way in. There is the stream, but it doesn't seem like they have access to it. No, they're not that big, and they don't pack a whole lot of punch. We did manage to take one of them out, but yeah, they're tenacious little assholes.
Have you tried to leave before? If you can predict when they're coming, have you tried to get out?
We tried last night or yesterday, but the big wall of flesh wouldn't let us go.
I look over at Huxley at that point. Yeah, we've ran into that too.
Mhm.
Yeah, so we've regrouped here. See if we can try again tomorrow.
Well, we may have a favor, perhaps, to ask of you. We know a way out. Slightly different way.
I mean, we came in through the main gate. We know how to get there. It's just whichever way we go, that damn thing blocks us. And well, at first it tried to play games with us, but we lost our temper and attacked it, and now it just attacks us on sight. It keeps talking about its mother, but I don't know what the hell is going on with it.
Oh, well, we might be in a spot of trouble ourselves then.
Mhm.
It doesn't seem to bother the lizard folk. We've seen them moving around. We did have to pay them off with some food to keep from trying to eat us, but
Where did you see them?
to the north, if you would have, where the break was, that's the direction that eventually leads to the main exit and entrance of the mine. And they're just off the west there, past the mine carts.
Have you ever seen any ants?
No, I haven't seen any ants. I haven't seen any bugs down here.
All right, well, if you do see ants about our size,
Oh, those are big ants.
they are big ants. They can actually understand us, even though they can't say anything.
Oh, that's interesting.
They have, through weird means of communication, said that all they want is to survive. They are not looking for a fight, but they will defend themselves. They wanted to pass that along, that they're not looking for trouble.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. Makes me wonder why the giant fleshy thing isn't bothering them or the lizards.
It seems they have some manner of agreement.
If only we could get the same agreement, but I feel we've ruined those chances.
The ants did allude to them having some issues with the fleshy baby demons.
Oh,
The little flying ones.
okay. I could see those things are, like I said, voracious little assholes.
You're familiar with the Stone Loom mines, I presume. We've
Yeah.
been led to believe you're here to reclaim it.
Yeah, my family initially worked in this mine generations ago. And so I met a wizard that said that he could provide me with a potion of invisibility that would let us move through here unaffected. And it did work for a while, but it wore off. I've only got one of the potions left.
Have you any knowledge of some specific treasure artifacts down underneath here?
So it's rumored that somewhere in the deeper levels is where they kept their treasure stash. But also when the mine, when it finally fell, the dwarves, us here in Stoneloom, my forefathers were giving shelter to the wife and the daughter of the evil king, and he came and cursed it or something like that, and that's what caused all this. They were trying to escape from him.
Kind of look over at Huxley, like mother daughter calling out for mommy.
Mm-hmm.
Again, just be a coincidence.
And they
I
know a
suppose.
song that only rich folk usually know.
Right.
Quite a lot connecting here.
Complicates itself. If we were to help you get out of here, would you be willing to help us get to some of the lower levels? Those of you that are healthy enough, I feel like our paths here might overlap somewhat. You want to clean this place out, we need to get deeper into it.
I mean, despite the setbacks, I would still like to clear out what's ever in here, and that way we can start resettling it, if we need to take care of them little demons first, they're going to cause us trouble. To get to the lower mines, we need to drain the water. We found the mechanical room to activate it, but of course it was in disrepair from ages of non-usage. We were trying to find some grease so we could re-grease the cogs on it to safely turn the water screw back on. That should drain the lower levels. And we should be able to move through then. There is supposed to be an iron gate somewhere deeper that blocks the treasure chamber, but we don't know where the key is. So we're hoping we can find it somewhere in the lower levels.
Mhm. Well, one problem at a time.
Yep. And you're saying they can't get in here at all. So this is a safe. You've been here for a couple of days. This
Yeah,
is a safe space.
They haven't
could-
gotten in here yet. We haven't seen any sign of the fleshy thing. Lizards, nothing. Nothing's gotten in here yet. So, we've been at least had somewhere safe to rest with plenty of food and water.
Okay. So we do have a base of operations of sorts.
Yeah.
And what time of day is it in relation to when we think they're coming back?
I'm going to say you've probably been down here for half a day. So you still have, 4 or 5 hours, probably like a, quarter day, we'll say, until the demons start returning.
How is the door barred or locked or whatever?
Yeah, you can see on the interior of the door, it looks like they've crafted a crude crossbar for it. It looks like it's bits of old minecart that they've stripped down and managed to bolt into the stone around the frame. And they've just got this big, heavy steel bar that they're setting across it to keep it closed. And they've also got, U-hooks on the interior of the door too to keep everything well closed. So, and the door, it swings out from the interior of this chamber, so you can't pull it open from the outside.
Nothing we can operate from the outside easily either then.
No, definitely not. But Gunter would chime in. Well, if you're all going to go out,
Maybe he stays behind.
I can set the bar behind you and open it back up when you return.
Do we want to have like a passphrase or something?
Okay, so when we knock, we'll say Hody, and you'll say who.
Beautiful.
Hody.
Who?
There you go. You got it.
It's wonderful.
Here we are.
All right. Hooty hoo. That's wonderful. So, we're actually just about hitting time here. So this is a great spot to put it on pause until next session. We'll pick back up with you all able to use this room as a base of operations, with Gunter staying behind to operate the door. Setting a passphrase was a great idea. I'm going to configure this scene. So there we go. That means it's time for experience point questions. All right. So, first point, did you participate? Yes. Did you travel through at least one hex you had not been to before? You traveled through 2, so yeah, you get a point. Discover a new adventure sites? I'll say yeah, you made it into Stone Loom Mine, so yeah. Did you defeat one or more monsters? You took out 2 undead, you took out 2 ants. So yeah. Did you find any treasure? You found 6 silver and 2 rubies, so that's also a yes. Did you build a function of your stronghold? No. Did anyone activate a pride today? No? Okay. Did anyone feel like they suffered from their dark secret? No? Okay. Did anyone risk your life for another PC? And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to lump in PC or NPC in this as well, because you all, I do feel, did risk your life to save this dwarf, to save Gunter.
Okay. I'll take that. You'll give it to us.
Yeah. Does anyone feel like they performed an extraordinary action of some kind?
No.
No? Okay.
I dislocated a zombie's pelvis by punching it in the neck.
I'll tell you what, if you want to take a point for that, you can. So reputation points, I don't feel like any reputation points come in. No reputation points came in. I also want to mention that you did possibly recruit 5, peasants. If they make it to Strong or Weatherstone, they might join into your crew there. I've got it noted there, but it wasn't letting me add more people to the stronghold yet, so I'll have to figure out why.
That's fine.
But I got it noted.
Nice.
So yeah, good amount of XP today. That's fantastic. This game eats a lot of XP to progress, so it's always a good day when we can get a lot of XP stacked in there. Let's see. So after this, Jeff, what time should people show up to Adventures in Lollygagging?
Yeah, so that's going to be 6 Central. So 2 hours from now, I think, roughly.
Yep.
We'll be over on twitch.tv/the Lollygaggers playing some Worlds Without Number.
There we go. And if you come back tonight at 9 p.m. Central here on Defenders, we're going to be doing some Tiny Cthulhu. So Jeff and I have an entire day of entertainment for you. You're welcome.
Yeah, well planned.
Yes, we totally
We did this
planned it.
intentionally.
Super intentional. Adam, what's Grim and Perilous got going?
Grim and Perilous has a new Monster of the Month out on our Patreon. There will soon be a post about it. Also, if you are wondering what you could get for becoming a patron of Grim and Perilous Studios, we are going through and making some of our articles free so that you can check them out. You'll also find links to those on the website. Right now, we have the $1 level preview out there, and sometime either this weekend or over the next week, we will be previewing the $5 level by making one of the Monsters of the Month free.
Very cool.
So that way you can check it out and see if it's something you're interested in.
Totally worth it. People should do that. Yeah, Jen couldn't be here today, but you can check out Jen's streams over on Pixel Prowler. I think I even typed that address in right. I need to get that set up as an auto link like I do. Yeah, I don't know. Adventures in Lollygagging, go check them out. Grim and Perilous, go check it out. Yeah, and Defenders of Kobold, you're here, so great job. I don't fucking know. I ain't got anything else. So, we'll see you at 6 over on Lollygaggers, and we'll see you at 9 back here on DOK. So until, also tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Central on Steam Steel Murder, catch Jeff and I playing some Shadowrun. So yeah, there you go. Anyway, until we see you next time, start fires, do drugs, and get your fucking shot so you can go start tipping your bartenders. Deuces. And I forgot to do the setup. So let me do that real quick.
We wait forever.
Wait forever.